Hey everyone, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO weekly news update where I talk to you guys about the biggest stories happening within the LEGO community from the last week. Links to everything that I discuss will be in the description below. And before we jump into the first story of the week, I do want to say the custom build that's gone up in the web store is the Doomslayer from Jarek. Standing nearly a foot tall, this model is packed with absolutely insane detail. He's got a super shotgun, and many are already asking for similar style models like the Predator at this size, Terminator, Xenomorph, or Master Chief or something. Anyways, the video is worth a watch. If you haven't seen it, check out the web store, www.brickvault.toys. It's a great way to help support the channel. And now let's jump into the first story of the week, which is kind of a continuation of something we talked about last week. This was bigger news like a week or two ago, but the Osprey V22 Technic set was canceled, and LEGO made an announcement saying that it was due to the fact that it was a military vehicle. There was a small group advocating against the release of the vehicle, and ultimately LEGO decided to not run with it, though some people did actually get this set before it was officially canceled, and there's a few different links to this in the description below. I first saw this from Alan Tran at thebrickfan.com and then went on the Reddit thread, but there are several people that ran into a considerable design flaw with the actual set, where basically there's all this pressure on one particular gear and it just shreds the teeth. According to the BrickFan's article, he also says that LEGO will be making another formal statement about what's actually going on. So it raises an interesting question. Was the first story a cover for the fact that they had a pretty major design flaw in this model? Or was the Osprey really pulled from shelves due to moral reasons, and this rather crucial design flaw happens to have just sort of also been there as well? I guess we'll have to wait and see what LEGO says, and you'll have to wait and decide about what you think they mean by that. But it does seem kind of shady that they would use one story to cover for the fact that perhaps they just messed up on the insides of some of their technical gearbox builds. Anyways, it's a slightly interesting development on a story that I thought was basically done. And now let's jump into ideas. A couple new sets got 10,000 votes of support. This one was very much just gonna get a quick run through. It was rising through the ranks very quickly. This is Vincent van Gogh, The Starry Night by legotruman. It's an interesting use of plate pieces. He really did try to use the bricks in a way that would match the art style of Vincent van Gogh, and there's definitely a pretty good level of success there. The staggered colors pop quite well, and they blend well from afar, and frankly I'm terrible at guessing whether something gets accepted or not, so you guys just let me know if you think this one has a fighting chance. The same outreach goes for this next set as well. It's called Goldrush Mine Train Roller Coaster by Footonabrick. Excellent name. This one on the surface feels pretty self-explanatory. It is a Goldrush Mine themed roller coaster where it seems to be set in a desert kind of Wild West scenario, but you still have your standard ticket booths, and this mine cart themed roller coaster is just that. It's still a roller coaster, just happens to look like one of those mining carts that's on tracks. It's fun, simple, and perhaps a good excuse to get some new Wild West figures if this ever did get voted through 100% through review stage, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now let's move on to a rather interesting rumor. I first saw this from thebrickfan.com, and a lot of this was circulating on Instagram initially. The word on the street is that the Hidden Side theme may be discontinued at the end of 2020, with the physical bricks and digital aspect of play not being as sustainable as they thought it would be. Now, this isn't totally confirmed, but I personally am inclined to believe it. It always felt like the digital gameplay only had so much fun behind it before it felt pretty repetitive and old. LEGO is still experimenting with combining their physical toys with video games. Dimensions was a massive investment and a pretty interesting concept, but something tells me that Hidden Side is sort of running into a similar problem, which is the game itself has to be excellent in order for people to really want to integrate the physical and digital together that will make the theme successful. So far, the gameplay for any of the combined physical digital themes hasn't been like groundbreaking, and ultimately people don't like playing them for really long periods of time. Not really. So who knows? I have a feeling LEGO is going to keep on combining some video game stuff with their sets, and hopefully we'll find a theme that can stick around for a long time, but I have a feeling it's going to be based on extremely good gameplay, digital gameplay. It has to stand alone as its own game first before you want to integrate it with other physical things. Sorry, that is my 2 cents. I could be totally wrong. Maybe Hidden Side won't get canceled, but there you have it from me. Let's move on. And I'm really glad that I wait till Saturday morning to finish editing this video, because sometimes new stories pop up real quick. We are officially allowed to show and talk about the 75294 Bespin Duel set. It's been circulating for a bit, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet on the channel, and there's finally going to be a small solo set specifically for the duel between Darth Vader and Luke from Empire Strikes Back. You can see the 40th anniversary little print there at the bottom. It's a nice little display set, and the official building instructions can actually be found right now. No word on how or when this will be distributed officially, but this is a long overdue scene, and I think LEGO did a great job knocking it out. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see this version of a scene coming out for an extremely long time after this one is finished. Also, there is a new Harry Potter Brickheadz set coming down the line. This is Hagrid and Buckbeak. I think they made Hagrid a little bit taller than normal Brickheadz fig, and also Buckbeak looks a bit tall as well, so that makes sense. I like that they play around a little bit with the scale and size, just by a couple of degrees here and there within the Brickheadz line. Also, I've left another link to a BrickFan article that will tell you every single character that will be available for Harry Potter Collectible Minifigure Series 2. There are a couple of LEGO designer videos that were released this week as well. The LEGO art designer video for the Iron Man sets specifically was out. They actually have a little audiobook that you can listen to as you're putting it together, which is kind of an interesting touch. I have a feeling they might be doing something similar for the Marilyn Monroe, Star Wars, and Beatles ones. And there's also a designer video for Mickey and Minnie. So if you want to watch the full version of those videos, you guys can do that. This is the first image of the LEGO Lifehack book for 2021. There will be 50 plus ideas for you to use bricks in your normal everyday life. It'll be available April of next year. And this last article is all about Bricklink. They are going to be charging sales tax in the US, and VAT will be charged to the EU sellers. Connecticut and California have already started charging sales tax for vendors there, and more states are going to be brought on, with I think all of them being registered by the end of September. EU sellers will be charged VAT by August 5th, they say in the article, and it's not just Bricklink that's going through these online sales tax changes, but in fact many online businesses have been going through the same or similar process of sales tax charges for some time now. Anyways, if you'd like to read the full announcement, or once again check out further information on any of the topics that I discussed this week, links for everything are in the description below. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, visit the web store, share the video, or just, keep watching. Do whatever you want to do. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.